How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's another piece of breaking news. It's a transfer update. They seem to be happening thick and fast over this transfer window, which is a welcome change. It's a very welcome change. People have known my thoughts about transfer windows over the years, and it's good to see Arsenal doing good business and doing good business early as well, which I think is very important, as Arteta has alluded to many times over the last 2-3 years. This time, the updates about Jurrien Timber. Most of the updates in the last couple of days have been around Timber and Declan Rice, but it seems like it's all official. You know, we've all been waiting for announcements and medicals to be booked, but deals still had to be agreed. 1 for Declan Rice and 2 for Jurrien Timber. And David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have both tweeted. I was about to say have both spoken, but they both tweeted on the subject. First up was Ornstein, and he said, Arsenal have now reached full agreement with Ajax to sign Jurrien Timber. Negotiations completed on fee of 40 million euros plus 5 in largely realistic bonuses. 22-year-old defender granted permission to undergo medical and finalise personal terms. So that's official. There you go from Ornstein, who tends to only speak when things are close to becoming official. So that was followed up by Fabrizio Romano, another one that's highly regarded in the Twitter space in terms of in the nose and here we goes. And he said Jurrien Timber and Arsenal, he put a green tick, red and white circle, and he said agreement in place. As David Ornstein reported, clubs finalising deal today. Back to Ornstein's, obviously, he mentioned the 40 million euros plus 5 in largely realistic bonuses, so we might as well say that's 45 million euros. That works out to about 40 million pounds, 40.5 million pounds I'm seeing quoted, but in and around that ballpark. And from what I know, it seems like good business. It does seem like good business. In terms of positionally, what I believed we needed heading into this transfer window was someone that can play right-sided centre-back and can play right back too, preferably one that can do both. But we saw towards the end of last season with the unfortunate Saliba and Tomiyasu injuries how much depth was lacking in that department. But it was very unfortunate to lose 2 right-sided defenders in the same Europa League game. But we've got to be prepared, and I think, you know, this is part of that preparation for next season. Timber was heavily linked to Man United last summer. Before they went for Martinez. I think Timber was their first choice option. And by first choice option, I mean he was the one they initially went in for. They can play together. During Timber's right-sided centre-back, he plays left-sided centre-back. Listen, I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. Every centre-back should be able to play right-sided centre-back and left-sided centre-back. That's just how it should be. I know in modern-day football, in terms of the way managers or certain managers like to play out of the back, a left-sided centre-back preferably is left-footed, and ideally a right-sided centre-back is right-footed. But we don't live in an ideal world. Like I mentioned with the Tomiyasu and Saliba injuries last season, that wasn't ideal. Prior to that Sporting game, we would have thought we're heavily stacked in the right-back area, right-sided centre-back area. Couple injuries later, a 190-minute game later, and that all changed. So it's good to see Arsenal doing this business early. He'll be ready and prepared for pre-season. Medical should be booked real soon, so we'll update you as soon as that has taken place. But Jurrien Timber seems to be, you know, the next Arsenal signing along with Declan Rice. We all knew it was bound to happen with the heavy links over the last 2 weeks. And when I look at Timber, I haven't seen a lot of him. I'll be honest. I haven't seen a lot of him. To be honest, a lot of you out there would have probably seen a lot more of him than I have. I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you're watching this video and you've seen quite a bit of Timber, quite a bit of Jurrien Timber, let us know. What's he like? What are Arsenal getting? How does he fit into it currently? Is he coming in to take a first team spot eventually? Is he coming in to provide the depth for Saliba? Let us know, because of 40 million pounds, listen, the market's all over the gaff now, but 40 million is a considerable bit of expenditure there on one player. So I'd expect to be seeing him quite regularly, especially when you consider how many competitions we're in. And when I read up on him, when I have watched him, and when I've rewatched highlights and compilations on YouTube altogether, what I've taken from it, especially from what people that either support Netherlands or Ajax, or people that are in and around the Dutch league, journalist types, they all mention his his anticipation, his reading of the game. Interceptions, he's high up on the list on that. I think transfermarket.com compared him to the centre backs we have, and interceptions, he's just behind Saliba in interceptions. And when you look at the Declan Rice profile and what Declan Rice brings, that maybe Partey or Jorginho don't, it's that kind of anticipation, a lot more interceptions, a lot more duels won leading to ball wins, and this seems to be the case with Timber as well. He seems to be someone that reads the game well, anticipates a pass, and likes to get in and nick the ball before anything. But he's also good in duels. He's also got a high dual win percentage, which bodes well, especially in the Premier League, and how physical it is and how different it is to the Dutch league. Tackles up there, won the most for Ajax, most touches as well, and that leads me to my next point on Timber. You know what Arteta wants to do. You know the modern day philosophy of modern day managers. You know how much Pep has changed the game in terms of playing out at the back and everyone needing to be of a certain technical level. That's another thing that I've seen from the highlights, I've seen from games I've watched him in, and I've read and heard from journalists and Ajax fans, is how composed he is on the ball. And the highest number of touches shows that. His pass percentage is high, along with the number of passes he makes. So it's not like his pass percentage is high with a low number of passes. He's the go-to guy defensively. And that's someone that, will work very well in Mikel Arteta's system, whether it's the right-sided centre-back or the right-back position. A lot of people are mentioning Ben White should be Saliba's cover, but the way Ben White played last season at right-back, I find it hard to see Timber coming in to replace him from the get-go. Maybe an opportunity comes along the way, or a chance is taken from Timber when given an opportunity. And then we have more of a debate. But I think going into next season, my honest opinion, it's going to be Ben White, Saliba, who's now back in training, by the way, Gabriel, and Zinchenko. That's how I see the back four setting up initially. Whatever happens from then, happens. We'll see. Champions League football back as well. And Timber, Dutch international, he didn't start the first World Cup game, but he did start all the rest. De Ligt started the first one. They won it 2-0, so I can't actually tell you what changed. But Timber comes in for the rest of the group games and the 2 knockout games that Netherlands played. And he played the right-sided centre-back of a back three alongside Van Dijk and Nathan Ake, obviously both at rival clubs, Ake at City and Van Dijk at Liverpool. So Timber's in good company internationally. He's made a good name for himself at club level. Like I said, United were interested last season. We've got the job done this season. Much needed depth in a position that got exposed towards the back end. But Arsenal, well done. Well done. It seemed like the third piece of business is getting signed, sealed and delivered real soon. Well in time for pre-season coming up. Again, real soon, starting with Nuremberg, I believe. But in my head, I've got that American pre-season tour in the back of my mind. So listen, Jurrien Timber, deal agreed, 40 million euros plus 5. That works out to 40.5 million pounds roughly. It seems like medicals will be booked real soon. It seems like it will get done alongside Declan Rice in the next few days, hopefully next week, knowing Arsenal. But I think it's one we can be rest assured that we'll see in an Arsenal shirt. Jurrien Timber, 40.5 mil. He will be a gunner real soon, and we'll be here to update you. So make sure you're subscribed, put the notification bell on. Love for the love, hit the like button. And like I said, if you know more about him, leave it in the comment section. Let us know what we're getting.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.